The Vice President, Alhaji Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, has commissioned an ultramodern Astroturf in Ajigano in the Adentan municipality of the Greater Accra region. The commissioning of the latest Astroturf brings to about 50 the number of green turfs the Akufo-Addo government has constructed in various communities across the country. Speaking at the commissioning, Vice President Bawumia said the impressive development represented a clear departure of the situation prior to the NPP assuming office in 2017.
The commissioning of this edifice adds to the remarkable number of modern astroturfs that the government of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has built in various communities across the country in the past 4 years. In fulfillment, over the last 4 years, over 54 astroturfs have been constructed across the country by government with funding from various government agencies such as Ghana Gas, the GMPC, the Zongo Development Fund, and so on. So in 4 years, we've moved from 2 to 54. This, without any shred of doubt, is impressive, and we are committed to construct more to ensure that more communities benefit.
Dr. Bawumia used the opportunity to highlight the extent of sports infrastructure development the Akufo-Addo government has done at the national and regional levels in the past 4 years.
At the national level, the government has in the past 4 years invested heavily in the rehabilitation of our national stadia, the Accra Sports Stadium, the Aliu Mahama Sports Stadium in Tamale, the Baba Yara Sports Stadium in Kumasi, which will soon be completed, and the ongoing works at the Esipong Stadium. At the regional level, the Akufo-Addo government is building 10 multi-purpose stadia in all the 10 old regions of the country, and they will soon be commissioned when the final stage of works are completed. Additionally, government has initiated moves to build 6 more in the 6 newly created regions to ensure that each region has at least one ultra-modern and multi-purpose sports stadium for high-level sports activities.
Dr. Bawumia noted that the spread of astroturfs within communities across the country will not only rekindle interest in sports activities and help unearth more talents, it would also help promote fitness among the populace. He indicated that promoting fitness should be an essential part of Ghana's healthcare delivery system and therefore tasked the Ministry of Youth and Sports to institute a monthly National Fitness Day, which will be observed nationwide.
Availability of decent parks in communities should also improve community sports and fitness activities by all. As a government, we are keen to see a healthy population as part of our healthcare delivery system. So we want to encourage community sports and fitness activities to ensure a more healthy population. It is for this reason that I have had discussions with the Minister for Youth and Sports to institute a National Fitness Day every month for Ghanaians anywhere in the country to engage in a fitness activity.
The Ajigano facility was funded by the Ghana Gas Company Limited and officials of the company, led by the Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Ben Asante, graced the occasion. Also present included the Minister for Youth and Sports, Mustafa Yusuf, the Greater Accra Regional Minister, Henry Quarty, the President of the Ghana Football Association, Keto Kreku, and a host of former national football stars, including Stephen Appiah, Sam Johnson, John Painsil, and Augustine Ahimful, among others.
The National Chief Imam Sheikh Usman Nur Shabutu has urged inhabitants of Zongo communities to endeavor to participate fully in the upcoming 2021 National Population and Housing Census. This, he said, was to make sure all Muslims in Ghana are fully captured in the upcoming event to ensure they are included in the planning and development of the nation. Sheikh Usman Nur Shabutu said the government of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has established the Zongo Development Fund to promote development in the Zongo communities to ensure a more inclusive development agenda for Ghanaians. He therefore urged all Muslims to get involved and be counted so that the government will know the Muslim population in the country and in so doing allocate the national cake appropriately. Sheikh Usman Nur Shabutu made this call at a stakeholders engagement forum on the 2021 Population and Housing Census held in Accra.
A council for the population census. On that council, the Muslim community is not represented. The reason for which some of those issues that are coming, that are affecting the interest of Muslims, have become an issue of national interest, and Muslims are raising concerns. And also, it's in the light of the fact that the results of the previous population census respect to the percentage of Muslims have been very controvertible. Very controvertible. And because of that, it is an issue we did not hide from the head, the professor who visited the chief. We did not hide it, that these are the reasons why we rejected those percentages. 15.6 in the year 2000, and 2010, 17.6. What it meant was that between the 10 years, Muslim population grew only by 2%. Still a concern that even when we have made these concerns available, the council that was constituted did not have a Muslim representation. It's a matter of concern. We hope that if this year we didn't get it, then probably the next population census, this must guide how we form the council.
Madam Nasiba Tahi Swale, the Census Project Officer of Greater Accra, urged all women in the Muslim communities to avail themselves for the enumeration. She said the women had more information about their households in the communities and appealed to them to assist the census officers when they come to their homes.
This current population and housing census affects us in various ways. Lastly, now switch to Hausa. Whether you are a business person, not a medical doctor, an educationist, a teacher, whoever you are, the results is very, very essential in whichever area you are practicing. Musamman, the imams. You need to know the type of people who are praying in your. Can you imagine the betrayal and how you feel? If they come to do the census, you know in your mosque you are 2,000, for which reason you are agitating and requesting for certain things. And they come to tell you that, I want to make a scheme, go Makadeni Ghanaian. A Ghanaian, whether a Southerner, a Northerner, a middle belt person, is a Ghanaian. Nobody is more Ghanaian than the other. Once we are all Ghanaians. So in the Kai Kweku Hassan Ibrahim, Kaida Ilyasu Sumaila, if you are all Ghanaians, no other person is more important than the other. This census we are doing, we want to ensure accurate results. We also want to ensure complete coverage. That is why anywhere two or more people are gathered who want to seek the understanding of what we are going to do, we leave everything to follow you.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Zongo Development Fund, Dr. Arafat Suleiman Abdullahi, appealed to all stakeholders to give their blessings and support the Zongo Development Fund, and revealed that the administrators will soon embark on a nationwide campaign in Zongo communities to raise awareness and further educate members of Zongo communities on the importance of the Census program.
From our research, we have come to realize that Muslims don't avail themselves for counting. And when you don't avail yourself for counting, your number, you will not get your number. And for me, it is a very important jihad for us to get to every Muslim, in every Muslim enclave, to be able to be counted. Because it has serious ramifications. We have what we call national cake. The national cake is divided according to percentage that we have. If you don't know your actual number, you go and take something for 17.6%. Meanwhile, perhaps you are 30%. Meanwhile, perhaps you are 40%. Meanwhile, perhaps you are 20%. It means that you cannot cater for your people. And that is why I think it's important for me to see His Eminent National Chief Imam and all his leaders around him today. And I want to commend the Life Foundation for bringing our leaders to us. More importantly, we also have our chiefs here. Chiefs are those who command the Jama'ah. And so I'm also happy to see our eminent chiefs here who are also going to listen to this resource person and what they need to know to also spread it to our people. I think that I have many things to say because I have gone around because of this population census across the country. Even yesterday we had a program here meeting Muslim leaders across the country. Just let them know the importance of this national exercise. And I think that Muslim leaders must be the front runners in getting the message across.
A financial consultant, Mr. Christian Donko, has commended government's efforts to remove Ghana's name from the European Union's blacklisted countries notorious for money laundering activities. In May last year, the European Union Commission said Ghana was among 12 countries which now pose significant threats to the Union's financial system due to deficiencies in anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism strategies. Mr. Christian Donko, speaking with NET2 TV News, highlighted the negative impact of the blacklisting on the country's economic fortunes and explained the concept of money laundering.
Money laundering is changing large sums of money obtained from situations like crime, right, such as drug trafficking and other things. And also from a legitimate source, money obtained from a legitimate source, but not transferring it appropriately into a different destination for certain kind of perceived agenda. So that is what, in a short, is money laundering is. It boils down to doing something that is not right, or transferring money from one origination to another without passing through the appropriate requirement or the legal means. This money laundering was at the low side when it comes to Ghana financing or our activities here. It was at the low side, but until quite recently, where the owners of the bank decided to embark on certain illegal transactions. And most of them transferred the money outside. And that is where the money laundering came in. So what they were doing is, because they were transferring large sums of money, they knew very well that if they use the normal channel where they have to pay appropriate taxes to the government, someone will question. Because Ghana here, when you transfer serious sums of money, you have to justify it. How did you get the money and all those things? So they have to use a means to transfer it, and that becomes illegal. So like I said, as I defined it earlier, it's changing large sums of money, isn't it, illegally, and transfer it without passing through the appropriate channel. Money laundering has so much effect on the country that nobody should encourage it.
Mr. Christian Donko, who is also an accounting lecturer, enumerated some of the effects the activities of money laundering has on the country's economy.
When you are blacklisted as a money laundering prone country, it has so many effects. One, the necessary investment inflow that's supposed to come will be affected, because that country, once you are blacklisted, then will become the eye of the international community. That country is a country that people mobilize people's money and transfer it illegally. So now that I'm bringing my investment here, what shows that somebody will not use a smart way, get my money and transfer it illegally outside. So seriously, people take decision about that country once you are blacklisted. And then two, it affects you when it comes to dealing with international agencies like World Bank, IMF, and all those things. These agencies, international agencies, one way or the other, help us, help with funding and other things. So they will say that now you, this country, you have so much there that you rather mobilize and transfer it illegally outside. So if that is what is happening, then why should we bring in money to that country at all? So it becomes very difficult for them to take the decision on you. So it affects you in terms of getting assistance when it comes to these international agencies that World Bank and all those things. And also when they blacklist you, it affects what we call your credit worthiness. The credit worthiness has something to do with your credibility when it comes to going to international market to borrow.
The chartered accountant explained that efforts by government to clean the banking sector has contributed immensely to Ghana purging its name and image from the list.
Government has realized that for the past few years, because of the behavior of some owners, it has given us a wake-up call that no, we have to do something about it. We have to put in an internal mechanism that will help us to minimize, if not eradicating it to zero, at least to minimize it, so that the impact or the effect that, as I've mentioned, will be very low, and that will also help us to grow as a country.
Mr. Christian Donko advised the nation's financial watchdogs and authorities to keep monitoring the situation, even though delisted from the blacklist, to ensure such negative financial malfeasance are eliminated or reduced to the barest minimum.
I will say that we should do everything humanly possible, we win ourselves out, and then we make sure that, like we said, the system we are putting in place to somehow prevent this kind of illegal behavior and activities should be stopped. Even looking at a situation where the system that they are putting in place should be so tight that if we need to eradicate it to zero, so that if we win ourselves out of it, once we do that, it sends a clear image. The foreign inflows will start coming, right? The agencies now see in the good spotlight, any grant or funding that we need, when we go there, we should be able to get. When we go to international community to borrow, our status becomes high. Those who buy our bonds will demand low interest rate, because now we have won ourselves out of such kind of encumbrances that give us a bad name. So we see that they will demand low. Once it happens, we'll get a good money with low interest. So our internal generated revenue We will use less to pay interest, and much will be left for government to use to fix our road, open up factories and other things for unemployment situation to go down. And so it's a very good thing. I'm in for it. We should look at this kind of canker very, very seriously. And when it happens this way, if you're able to put up or do our house keeping very well, we keep our systems well, and everything becomes good, and the country is set there, the progress ahead of us is ahead. And it takes a very good and prudent government to be able to do that. It takes a good government. Look, these international agencies that blacklist and unblacklist, look at aftermath. When they blacklisted you, aftermath, what has happened? What have you put in place? Have they seen it? They have serious intelligence groups monitoring. Are these things still perpetrating going on as at the minimal side? I think it's on that basis that they realize that we have got a very good president, a president that cares, a president that look at the system and then say, no, we have accepted that we have a mishap here, so let's put in appropriate controls to be able to do that. And the banking cleanup that came in sent a strong signal to them that we don't condone such kind of things.
Ghana, last year, in a bid to quell the menace of money laundering activities, enacted a new Anti-Money Laundering Act, Act 1044, which consolidates the laws relating to the prohibition of money laundering. The new act demonstrates the government's commitment to the prevention, detection, and prosecution of anti-money laundering violations. The implementation of the act is expected to support Ghana's efforts to strengthen its anti-money laundering framework and make it more compliant with international practices.